GWATA TV gives you a first look at North Central Washington's business news. You'll hear from our local business, tech, and education companies as Jenny discusses hot topics and current events with some of the best innovators and pioneers in North Central Washington.
Hello, North Central Washington. Welcome to GWATA TV. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian, and on today's episode of GWATA TV, we're going to be talking about the Innovator Awards Luncheon, GWATA Scholarship Program, and I'll be interviewing a special guest. We have Jonathan Baker. He's the founder and senior designer at eqpd, which is a manufacturer located in Twisp, Washington, on air with us. GWATA recently hosted our 18th annual Innovator Awards Luncheon, and if you haven't seen all the great information on that, I definitely recommend you check out the other news segments on NCW Life Channel or the GWATA website. Today we'll have time to go into our Problem Solving Innovator of the Year Award, which goes to college students, and we're really excited about not only this year's nominees, but the scholarship recipient of this award. So stay tuned for a great episode, and when I come back, we'll be with Jonathan Baker. Welcome to GWATA TV. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian. Really excited to be joined today by Jonathan Baker from eqpd. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So for those of you who, in the audience who don't know what eqpd is, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
Oh, right on. Yeah, so I started eqpd about 5 years ago in Twisp, Washington. We design and manufacture a lifetime reusable bag. So yeah, we have a great team of 10 people, and we're sold throughout the U.S., but concentrating right now in the Pacific Northwest.
And your physical location is inside of TwistWorks, which is a really cool a program of entrepreneurs and artisans.
Correct.
How did you get involved and land in TwistWorks?
So I'm from the Northeast, New Hampshire. My wife and I moved here about 6 years ago. TwistWorks was an incubator of sorts. They had artists and business and nonprofits all kind of living on their campus. I really saw an opportunity to bring art and business together with my vision. I thought TwistWorks could help facilitate that conversation because I was so unconnected, being from the East. So they really kind of built a bridge for us to be comfortable enough to move here.
And then now your manufacturing facilities on site, but also growing. You
Yeah.
have a second location.
Yeah, so we've expanded off-site,
Okay.
which is a big deal for town because now there's this really interesting dynamic happening. Where we have an incubator hub that has created a business that is big enough now to leave that incubator hub and grow into town. So we're super proud of that. Yeah.
And you and your wife, that's a big adventure, coming from one side of the country to the other, and then to the Okanagan Valley, and starting a new company. Tell us a little bit about, you've got some really passionate principles behind eqpd and what you're doing for not only workforce, growing jobs, but also your products. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about your philosophy.
So this is my favorite question. So I was a freelance product designer in the Northeast. I went to the Rhode Island School of Design. I studied industrial design. What industrial design is basically understanding how things are made, from this table to the microphone to your eyeglasses. And I just thought that was the most fascinating thing. So I studied that field. I immediately got freelance opportunities upon graduation. Enter my entrepreneurship experience. I was self-employed for 15 years. So during that time, I met all these founders, all these engineers, all these salespeople. There's such a dynamic, building product takes a whole team of people. I was really on the ground floor of a lot of startups. And I was fascinated by the choices they made, the work they did, the ethics. All of these things came together. Where things were made, where things weren't made, why. It was everyone's personal vision of their business. And when one of my favorite client got bought and sold, which was super sad, but at that time, I really saw an opportunity to try to build a team like this myself. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I could do this, if I could put together this team of people and have the manufacturing behind it, we could actually change people's behaviors. We could create product in a really healthy way. I saw some of the best and worst parts of business. You know what I mean? Like during my 15 years.
And when you were doing the freelance work and designing products, you're talking about products made for the mass millions, right?
Yeah,
We're talking about not one small individual product, but going out on a million scale.
Exactly. So I'm super proud. I've designed about 20 different products in my freelance career. There's 20 more at Equipped.
Okay.
But those first 20, there's over 400 components that I designed on CAD software, that we engineered, that we tested. Yeah, there's 20 different helmets out there. Some of them have been made over 1 million times now. Like, I just think that's, and a lot of those components were made in the US. And I saw the ripple effect of like, wow, that little widget that goes on the helmet, well, that's actually made in Connecticut. Like, that's pretty cool. And you can go to the factory and you can see it all getting stamped and made. And I'm like, oh, this is the best.
And then it's growing jobs, which is going into the supporting local communities, supporting the support services needed to support an entrepreneur and their employees.
The trade fields are so important. You know, I don't believe college is for everyone, but I believe everyone has a skill. And good, hardworking people are super valuable to this world, and I want to make sure they have a place to do that. When I started with one of my companies, there were 12 people making things. When I left, there were 75 people making things. Like, I know those people, like from the woman who taped the boxes to the guy putting the rivets in the, like, these were real careers for people. They were honest jobs. They worked 5-6 days a week. Had Christmas bonuses. It was awesome. Like, I want that sort of energy. And going to that factory every morning and just hearing the machines, like, whoa, we are making, they were making helmets. I'm like, wow, we're making safety equipment. Like, this is awesome.
And now fast forward 6 years later, and you have 10 employees
Totally.
at Family Wage Jobs.
Exactly.
And Twisp, which is an incredible community, but not a large population.
Right, about 1,000 people.
So
we have 1% of them working at Equipped.
So you're a large employer there.
Totally.
And now that we've heard a little bit about how you're growing jobs and your philosophy, how are you connecting in with the community? And this is where relationships like GWATA has come into play. But we're not the only one.
No, you're the only one. No, but you are one of many, which is a great thing. It's actually a good team to be a part of.
Right.
So one of the things when you start a business is a lot of nonprofits come to you, right? And they ask for money and support and all those sorts of resources. We really wanted to give, but we also had a business to run. We didn't have expendable cash. One way we looked at this is, hey, what if we built you a custom product that you could sell and you could collect that revenue? And that was our way of supporting you. And it was your way of supporting us. So we developed a program called Built for a Purpose. We've done it now about 12 times, mostly in the Pacific Northwest. We have our first campaign in Colorado next month. And then we have our first national campaign next year. It's a very interesting program where we donate 100% of the retail profit back to the organization. And those organizations that support the environment, education, and the arts. So yeah, so GWATA fills a great umbrella for that niche. And you have a great audience. So this, we hope the GWATA bag is a representation of your mission, of our mission, of businesses coming together. We want it to be an icon of what the future of business might look like, what the future of product might look like. This is what it looks like to be made in Washington.
And that collaboration to support entrepreneurs, to support education, support community. And we're going to dive into the GWATA Equipped Last Bag program here. But first, I'd like the audience to check out a video. We recently hosted the 2018 Innovator Awards Luncheon, where we recognized innovators in 3 education categories, partnered with Equipped to bring some scholarship funding to the award recipients, and Equipped helped us create a video about problem-solving innovators. So we're going to have the audience watch that, and then we'll come back and talk in detail about the program. So
Sounds
stay
good.
tuned.
I think a big part of innovation comes in from being flexible to the changing world around us, because things are constantly changing and there's new technology to utilize every day, it seems like. And so being willing to take the step and be open to change is huge when it comes to innovation.
I think when you have a really good idea that you think is going to work, it's important to voice that opinion. And coming from the other side, if you're hearing one of your teammates and they really think that something's going to work, just give it a shot. It's totally worth going down every road that you think is going to help out your project and just looking to every possibility.
This is a great award for us to give because we believe in solving problems. Those students will be our employees of tomorrow. They will figure out the materials that designers are going to use. They're going to engineer the equipment to put it together.
I think that it's really important to understand the world around you. I think it's just about getting out there and finding a problem and doing something about it.
I think a problem-solving innovator is someone who's creative in the sense that they're not afraid to try new things and keep trying and keep going even though it's not exactly what they hoped for.
Problems aren't the end of the project. It's almost just part of it. It's part of how you refine the design. If it would have came together right away, it wouldn't have been as productive. It wouldn't have been as good of a product in the end. The problems really drove us to improve our own creativity.
Learning how to do the research and how to apply your research is vital in order to make yourself successful. Sometimes you've got to use your resources and use your tools that you have, and you have to find the answer for yourself. Being able to take the initiative and get that research done is immeasurably important.
To be a good leader, you have to be able to not be a leader all the time and listen to other people and take advice from other people. It's so important if you want to lead well and if you want to be a problem solver to make it a collaborative effort.
It's that curiosity about why things are the way they are today and maybe using technology to make things better, cleaner, safer tomorrow. We want to encourage that sort of vision. It's their future, so I want them to understand how their education today will add up to better products, better experiences, better businesses. We want kids to have that freedom. We want them to be encouraged to work in these fields.
Welcome back to GWATA TV. I'm your host, Jenny Rojanasatian. I'm here today with Jonathan Baker. We just got done watching a video on the Problem Solving Innovator of the Year finalists, our College Student Awards. The winner was announced live at the luncheon, and we'll talk about them in a few minutes. But Jonathan, tell me a little bit what was exciting about seeing the students this year and seeing that work in the award. Fun process to be a part of.
The way these people's minds work, students' minds work, is fascinating to me. Yeah. It gives me goosebumps to think that they're coming through this, into the workforce. To me, this is the future of problem solving, is how they see it. So yeah, it's a real exciting to watch young minds, right? You're never so free.
And as you and I had talked about during the break, the award for Problem Solving Innovator of the Year this year went to college students, but it's actually open to students in post-secondary and a technical training. We just happen to have all college nominees this year because we need all of those skill sets.
As mentioned previously,
Right.
absolutely, there's a whole range of abilities. But yeah, and fundamentally, they're all based around these educational principles, right? And motivation and good work ethic. And we want to encourage kids to do that.
Absolutely. And the STEM disciplines don't always go straight into a bachelor or continuing education. A lot of the STEM fields can be in a 2-year or a trade program. So inspiring that STEM learning in school, problem-solving skills in college. And then we haven't mentioned the STEM Educator of the Year award, which also was a scholarship recipient because the teachers need additional funding for the great work they're doing in the classroom.
Yeah, everything takes resources, right? Like you want, it's nice when they can go above and beyond. When people are motivated, you want to give them the means to give as much as they can to the students, right? So if we can award scholarships to teachers to motivate them to help engage the students more, like we should do everything we can as a community to help that. These people are motivated.
And one way to do that is through our equipped bags. So this is my personal GWATA equipped bag. As you can see, I use this bag every day, and it's very durable. I've got my laptop. I've got backup sweater. I've got my lunch ready to go.
Totally,
right?
in your reusable
So, and
container.
I won't share my spaghetti lunch with everyone today, but everything I need fits in my equipped bag. And when I made this purchase, $25 went into our scholarship program.
Absolutely.
So why make this bag and then donate those retail profits back to scholarships? Tell us why you're so passionate about it.
So again, we have a business to run. As an entrepreneur, we need to make sales and we need to increase our outreach. Can we do that leveraging the mission of good-natured nonprofits? Like really, could we align some missions together? Everyone knows the public radio pitch, like give us $75 and you get this canvas bag. And I'm like, no, I don't want it to be that. Like what if that bag actually had value? What if it really was a wonderful product that people coveted?
You don't want it to be a swag item for a nonprofit that just
It's an afterthought.
adds to the closet,
Right.
adds to the donation box at the end of the year, items you don't need or use.
We all have them.
Right.
And they work fine. We don't really enjoy them. But but with using design and business, could you change that? Could you make a product that people wanted to use that had value? And instead of us donating to you, well, why don't we just let the customer who wants to support you just pass that money right through to you? And so this was our recipe, is let that investment go right to the organization. So yeah, it's really fun writing that check at the end of the month. You're like, wow, this money is going towards a scholarship fund to help move these kids forward. These bags are going to be used every day to reduce waste. They're a message of what your community's doing. They're iconic, so they're fun to talk about.
Oh, I get comments all the time when I am in the grocery store about where I got my GWATA equipped bag. But not only do you have, of course, the GWATA bag, but Equipped has full lines of products in multiple colors and designs and sizes to fit everyone's
Sold at
needs.
various retailers throughout Wenatchee.
Right, exactly. And you've partnered with other great nonprofits, Evergreen
Mountain Bike Alliance,
Yes.
Wenatchee River Institute. These are super exciting for us in Washington. We work with Met-How arts organizations. Yeah.
So we hope to see these bags all throughout town with various nonprofit logos getting the representation out. This year through bag sales alone, we raised over $1,600 for scholarships, which is huge. In the past, we've been able to raise a couple $100s, which made an impact but wasn't where we want to go. And this year we're trying to raise $10,000, right? 400
bags. That's
yes.
it.
$10,000 for scholarships.
400 bags, $10,000 for scholarships. Like, you have enough. Everyone has 5 family members. You get to that number so quick.
Right. And it's a great gift because then it's a sustainability gift.
Exactly.
And this is kind of a pivot back, but I love the story of how you talked about, a reusable bag. How that was such a kind of mundane,
right,
product, and you wanted to tackle that with industrial design.
So this is great technology lead-in. It's take Apple computers. Technology was mundane. It was so dry and boxy. Reusable bags there's nothing anyone likes about them. But could Steve Jobs take that computer and make it a work of art, design, and communication? And right? Can we do the same thing with a reusable bag? Yeah, so this was the recipe that we put together, is to use in that same parallel. How do you take something mundane and boring and overlooked and infuse it with energy, excitement, and meaning? Like that, I think, is the best part of design, is to take overlooked things and make them, or take novel commodities and turn them into desirable objects. And in this case, the single-use bag awareness.
Right. The environmental impact of minimizing plastic use.
Totally.
Or reusable bags that then get recycled back into landfill because they're not usable.
It's a super messy conversation, but our whole thing is like, what if we made a Pyrex container or a cast iron skillet? And it's just one and done, you're out for life, and you can get out of that rat race sort of moment. We started this 5 years ago before it was on the cover of National Geographic. Like, we knew as designers that products were never intended to be disposable. Like, I take incredible pride in being a designer, and I don't want to see trash scattered everywhere. Like, so I'm going to create a solution to eliminate trash, to raise money for scholars. Like, what if we could do the whole crazy system in one magical
all
way?
connected. You really attached your philosophy from product creation all the way down to impact into community, which is why we're so lucky to partner with you.
Well, thank you. We're thrilled to be part of your story. It's the right thing to do, right?
Well, speaking of the story, it's time for us to go to another video. The video, I want to give a little framework. So the video you're about to watch is the award winners for our 2018 Problem Solving Innovator of the Year Award. This award went to either college or post-secondary students who were doing outstanding work in their classrooms or college campuses. And you're now going to see the award recipient video. We'll come back, talk a little bit about that, and wrap up. So stay tuned.
The goal of the project was to generate power using pneumatics. So basically we were given air power, and we had to come up with some sort of way to turn that air power into actual electricity. What we ended up using was 2 weed eater motors. We had them firing like 180 degrees out of cycle with each other, or in cycle, so that they were constantly rotating the chain that we had connected to the generator, and then that generated power.
The control system that we used is very applicable to modern technology. Everything from automobiles to conveyor belts to, everything uses this kind of technology that we're just now starting to explore. We used a solenoid and 2 motion detectors to keep them in time. It's very similar to how automobiles are kept in time with a timing chain or a timing belt.
The thing that was most important to us was generating a lot of power, because that was just the idea that we all got stuck with. It's like, we want to make something that really works well. So I think working on a setup that was really efficient and just getting everything really lined up, because when you're dealing with that many mechanical things, it's really, any small thing that goes wrong is all of a sudden a really big problem. This project specifically, I had a lot of fun on, and just the whole fun part of, being creative and coming up with something new that's going to work. That's always really driven me in the direction that I'm going.
It was time-consuming. It probably took, I'm going to guess, 20 hours or more for the entire project. It was a lot of time, but it was fun time because we got to work with our hands and build something that we thought was awesome. But the process just kept rolling as it went, and when problems arose, we just, did our best to solve them.
Congratulations to Michael, Porter, and Bernardo for winning this year's 2018 Problem Solving Innovator of the Year Award. Jonathan, thanks for being on air with us, talking about the scholarship program, the Equip bags, and we just want to tell everyone out there today to go get yours, right?
Absolutely. GWATA.org.
GWATA.org. We're starting the 2019 scholarship program. Our goal is to 10,000. Again, 400 bags. All the information online, and make sure you check out Equipped as well. They're up there in Twisp, open for retail hours, and we'll see you next time on GWATA TV.
Thanks.
Since 1999, GWATA has served as North Central Washington's Tech Alliance. As a 501c3, our mission is to bring people and technology resources together to create a thriving community. Through our work, we aim to inspire, engage, and connect.